Good morning. Good morning. We have survived through January. It is a cup of sports here on Wednesday morning. Or Wednesday, yeah, it's Friday
It's
morning now.
Friday.
Yeah, cut us 2 days short. Yeah, we're at the
Friday the
weekend now.
31st.
Friday the
Is that
thirty
the opposite
first,
of the 13th? Is that good luck?
possibly. Yeah, it's probably. I'd see for me. I feel like I have good luck on Friday the 13th, so the 31st might be reversed for me.
Fair enough.
I look forward to Friday the 13th as a horror fan. It's just a good reason to pull out a Jason movie.
Fair enough. I can't say that. I'm a huge fan, but I also don't really care for the 13th, Friday the 13th at all.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything. But yeah, I still
Although,
got shit to do that day. I gotta go to work. I gotta do whatever.
although one year Jamie and I did sit down and watch all of the Halloween movies in succession. Like we
That's
just
awesome.
spent a Saturday and watched every single
That's
one.
awesome.
It was weird. They get really weird. Halloween like
Yes.
3 and
No,
4.
yes. There is a weird timeline thing if you look at it. Rand and I did this research last year before we were moving because I was like, we're in this weird lull where I have most of the shit packed I can pack before we went to the RV, and then we were like, okay, well, I have some time left to just exist here, but everything's packed. What do you want to do? And that was like our main thing was watching some scary movies. And if you look at the Halloween timeline, it's like one, two, three, and then like the bracket goes like down, and then it's like two separate movies that then aren't part of the franchise, and then they
Yeah.
did multiple movies now, and so like it's super weird how Halloween even is. There's movies out there that people are like, that one doesn't count, and so like yeah, it gets a little hairy, but
Yeah.
ultimately, I love the Halloween franchise though.
Also, I just noticed, and I need to make record of it that we do not coordinate our outfits. We were both wearing red on Wednesday, and now we're both wearing like a beige
White long sleeve shirt,
gray.
yeah,
So
nice.
I
Yeah, no, that's not
promise we're
happening on
not
purpose.
coordinating. This is just so random.
What's actually hilarious is that I've been home for the last 2 days because Joe's been sick. So that same red sweatshirt I was wearing earlier though, and I was like, I can't wear it 2 episodes in a row. That's ghetto. Even though I did take a shower yesterday, I got out and I was like, I'm home sick with Joe. Like I'm just gonna fucking throw the same hoodie
Yeah.
back on. So new underwear, new hoodie, new socks, but I threw the same hoodie on and I literally came down and I was like, I feel weird wearing the same hoodie 2 episodes in a row. So took it off and I match you now. So
Yeah. A lot of times when I'm wearing something like this, it's just because I worked in the office today and
yeah,
had to
yeah, you wore
travel.
it. Yeah, it didn't feel like changing when you got home, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's I know how that goes.
All right. So
Alrighty,
we started last episode off with a question. I think that's another good way to put it because we don't have a
I like it.
ton of sports to talk about tonight. So here's my question for you. You are in a room with 1,000 randomly selected people. You only survive if you can beat every single person at one thing. What would you choose?
Hmm. This is an interesting question. And I did just realize we talked about it a little bit off air that I had realized that it is, and I was like, is it a bracket style or is it every person? And I realized just now when you reread it to me, it is every
Yeah,
person. You
beat
have to
every
one v
single
one
person.
every person in thousand. Yeah, mine, it has to be pool. Like my number one thing that came to mind when I saw this was pool. Like I think if you put me up, because a lot of people just, oh, I play in the bar, I drink a lot in my 20s and 30s. Like it's just different. Like you are
Yeah,
not good. Like you know how to smack some balls around. Probably don't know the correct rules and shit. Like it's a very different game. I always ask people, like, you can tell right away when I walk into a bar and I'm talking to somebody. I'll go, "You playing bar rules?" And if they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, 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 just yeah, whatever you want to do, just rack. However you want to play is how I'll play. We are not playing for money. We are not playing for drinks. All bets are off the table. But if I go, you playing bar rules, and they look at me and they go, you want to play tournament style? And I'm like, fuck yes, let's go. Like, you want to play for $5 or $10? You want to play for a pitcher? Like, it's immediately a different game. And so, yeah, I think, and like, one of the comments I saw on this was like, I realized today that I'm not very good at a lot of things. And that was like the scariest part where I was like, damn, I'm really not super confident in my pool vote. Like, that's just the number one thing that came to mind.
right.
Cause like, I know probably 5 to 10, 15 people on my pool on my friends list right now that like there's no shot I even really get close to beating them except for like a lucky 1 out of 20 or 15 games maybe. So like yeah, you put me up against like a Jason or a TJ or who else out there? Other people I've played with. Even yeah, Jason, TJ, Scott. I'm trying to think of the other guy's name. Damn. Yeah, there's like a handful I think of that it's just like my dad used to play with them and they're all just like really fucking good. So like
Yeah,
if I ran into one of them, my day's over. But you put me up against random people that don't ever hold a pool stick or don't even know the rules, then
right.
I'm pretty confident in my ability.
Yeah.
I think my number two would be like a sprint because I'm pretty confident in my speed still. I said like when I'm running the dogs
Not
and
jumping
stuff.
for over a second.
No, I still think I could do that though. I still think that I think yeah, honestly, hang time over people. I think I could do that. That might be a good one that I can hold because it doesn't matter like how high you jump, it's how long you can jump. So I think I could do some hang time. But no, I think like an all
Kind
out
of the
random
same thing.
sprint. Yeah, I guess it kind of is. Yeah.
Not quite how maths, but
I saw that's like that meme that says someone goes, did you know like lions could leap 20 feet in the air? And someone's like, 20 feet in the air? They tell me a lion can jump over my fucking house? And someone's like, leap, you asshole, not jump. And it was like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Like it can leap forward, it can't
yeah,
jump straight up 20 feet. Like,
right.
yeah, that's kind of that same thing where it's like hang time or like long jump. But yeah, ultimately you're still in the air for however long. But yeah, I think my number one would be pool. My number two would be like a random sprint. Like I think if you put me in just a random sprint, I think I'm there. But how about for you? What about
Yeah.
you? Lining up 101 on 1,000 people.
Yeah, similar to your pool theory, I think I would go with darts.
Yeah,
I think a
your Monday
random.
night darts coming in handy.
Yeah, I do play in a league. I fairly average. I guess I'm above average for the league. But
But
like,
being even average in a league, you are above
right.
average for the
Yeah, I
regular
think a
person. Like,
thousand random people, I think, odds are 500 of them have probably never thrown a dart in their lives.
right?
Or if they
Yeah,
have, it's like the magnetic
the
board that hangs
right.
on the
Yeah,
back
as
of
a
a door
kid,
and
yeah,
there's no
yeah.
distance to it or
They played
anything
at
like
that one
that.
party or something like that. Or like for me, the only time I've ever played darts is when I'm with Kaylee's specific friends when we go drinking, and they love it. Like they every
Yeah,
time we're at a bar there, and they know all the rules and like all the shit, and I'm like I'm fucking hammered, and I'm just winging shit, and I'm
right.
always like I'm just trying to aim for bullseye. And they're like, no, you got to do this, and I'm like, are you telling me I shouldn't aim for the bullseye? Like that was all new to me.
Yeah,
I was like, there's a system to this. I thought it was just
right.
thrown at the middle, like. So yes, you have those people like me who have either never thrown a dart or have handily. See, I think you get right out of there like 500-600 people, and then it's
Right,
down to
yeah.
like your average, like you're now you're
Yeah,
playing.
right. And like, don't get me wrong, there could be a guy or two. And then you brought this up, which is kind of funny because it's like, how do you really beat them? I guess it's by surviving, is like just wilderness survival in general. There's a good chance that I could survive longer than 1,000 random people
Yeah,
are willing
I yeah
to
that for
stay
me,
out in
yeah,
wilderness and and
yeah,
thrive or live even.
yeah. If I'm one of those 1,000 people, I just give up my winnings of the show and I'm following AJ so I can get home and take a hot shower within the next 72 hours. Like I don't care about anything else or whatever anybody else's grandpa told them. Like I don't care. I'm following AJ in the woods for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, it's hard to tell, but that's just reading through those comments. It's
It
kind of
is, yeah.
depressing because it's like, damn.
And not really
Like,
good at a lot of stuff.
I guess on one hand, it's like kind of a good thing that you don't specialize in something very oddly super specific, but
Right.
also like there's a good chance
Yeah.
that neither of us survive this, regardless of what we're picking.
Right. That was the thing. Is like it's like being top 20 doesn't matter if you die. Like if it's life or death, like being
Yeah.
top 20 doesn't help. But like it is kind of reassuring for me. That's like for me, it's like I would feel pretty damn confident, like in pool, like I'm getting top 100. Like there's no way you're just pulling to get like because again, like you pull
Yeah.
like if you're doing 1,000 random people, like you're gonna have some children in there. You're gonna have some like grandmas and grandpas. Like you're gonna have like this
Yeah.
very like unless it is like 1,000 able-bodied, same age kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like but regardless, like no matter what it is, like the chances of it all working out the same way, it's yeah, I think of it like a Mr. Beast game where he's got like one person from each age, like that thing where it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
like I could beat a 0-year-old, I could beat a 1-year-old, I could beat a 2-year-old, I could like those guys like zero to
Right.
10 are gone immediately unless it's like that little 10-year-old protege, and then like 80 and up probably smoked unless they're a professional that stayed in good shape. So like there's like a good 30-ish people already off the list. So,
That's fair.
but yeah, so that's yeah, but 1,000, I think I got a kid up, but yeah,
You do,
yeah,
yeah.
1,000 makes it a lot tougher.
That's fair. You could go take care of that. Otherwise, they're gonna come down and visit. So as he takes care of a kid, we'll just talk about some football stuff I saw. So one of my talking points for today was I saw a comparison between Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts
Yeah,
in their
that's
first five
incredible.
years. So like, look, we're both numbers guys, but also we understand that you can pick and choose any numbers you want to make
Yeah.
anything happen. But it is an interesting comparison. So in the first 5 years of their NFL careers, Lamar Jackson has 45 wins. Jalen Hurts has 46. Yards per game 190 to 174. Total touchdowns 140 to 125. Pro Bowl selections are both at 2, and conference titles are 2 and 0. So like conference titles, I immediately just cross that out because like one's playing against Patrick Mahomes
Yeah.
and like Josh Allen, the other's playing against the rest of the NFC.
Yeah, but I
But
mean, even if you ignore the fact that it's a conference title, like regardless, you can ixnay that and go, okay, well, how many Super Bowl trips? Which is the same thing, but
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts has 2 Super Bowls and Lamar has
Yeah.
0. So like when it comes down to crunch time,
Right. But then another stat this is just another stat I saw on top of this one today is Jalen Hurts is like 14-1 against the AFC in the past 2 years.
Lamar's like 15-1 against
Um,
the NFC, or 15-2 now because he lost to the Redskins, or now they beat the Redskins. He lost to
Lost to the Eagles
Cowboys.
earlier this year.
Yeah, Eagles were the second team. Yeah, yeah. He lost
Yeah.
to the Giants and the Eagles. That's the only 2 teams he's ever lost to in the NFC once each, and that's it. And like
Yeah.
the Giants, he lost to a bad team. So like, yeah, it's kind of the same thing for him too. But yeah, I mean, yeah,
So
Jalen Hurts, he's a G. That's he doesn't get
yeah.
enough credit for he gets discounted for some reason, and like not sure what it is, but
Yeah. I we talked about this in our last episodes. We won't go too in depth, but I think it has a lot to do with he doesn't always put up the stats because he doesn't have
yeah,
to. He
right,
does.
yeah. And he plays for the Eagles, so it's an automatic discount. Like people just hate him for that.
Sure. But yeah, it reminds me of I think we've had this conversation on here before about like that employee that just does just enough to get by. He's
Yeah,
kind of like that, but like not. Like
yeah.
I hate to
But like
belittle him to that.
but like not replaceable. Like Kenny Pickett
Yes.
steps into that role, trying his absolute fucking best, is still not doing dick
Yeah.
against the Chiefs defense. Like it's
Right.
just not. Like you're just
Yeah.
not.
So I don't know. It's interesting. But moving right along, staying in the city of Philadelphia, unless you have anything else to go over NFL.
No, not really. That's it was a pretty, and that's I had such a sad weekend. I even talked to Kaylee about that, and I was like, we're doing kind of like spring cleaning this weekend because there's no football, and I'm sad. So like we have Saturday, Sunday off. I was like, let's just get shit done. I was like, let's get as much done this weekend as we possibly can.
Yeah,
So
fair enough.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I think we need to all get on the Joel Embiid
it's
PTO
insane.
package.
It's insane.
So if you didn't see it, I think last night's game was televised
Yep.
nationally, the Lakers and
Yep.
Philadelphia. And they put up a graphic about how Joel Embiid has missed 400 games compared to the 410 games that he's played.
Yep, 400th miss game is
Yeah,
insane. Like that stat alone is crazy. But then you're like, oh well, this guy's probably played for 20 years and has played in 1,200 games, right? And you're like, no, no, he hasn't.
yeah, no,
And
he's
then to
missed
double it down,
just under half of his games.
and then you go, okay, well, he's not like one of the highest paid players ever, is he? And you go, oh,
Well,
actually,
yeah.
well, sit down for a second.
So, yeah, he's made uh 125,695,189 by sitting out for a total of 400 games in his career.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah,
Um,
$126 million for sitting out is insane.
yes.
You worded it the greatest, so I'm gonna need this PTO policy at my next job. Like that
Yeah.
is the most real
Like,
you can ever put that. Like I'm starting a new job next week and I'm gonna call them like, are you guys familiar with the 76ers? I just want to have a conversation here real quick.
yeah,
I
for
don't
sure.
necessarily need his salary, but I will definitely take his days off. Like 1-to-1 on off. I'm supposed to have a 3-2 hybrid schedule. I'm home 3 days and in office 2, but if I could just not work 3 days and come in office 2, I'm down with that too. Like that's fine. You guys pay me what you're gonna pay me.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
come in for
just crazy.
work Tuesday, Wednesday, and see you next Tuesday. Oh
Um,
my God, you could call it the cunt schedule. See you next Tuesday.
Jesus Christ.
You just work Tuesday, Wednesday, and you see you next Tuesday. I said see you next Tuesday, and I was like, why does that sound so familiar? What's that from? And I was like, yeah, I do know what that's from.
Fair enough.
Nice.
So earlier this evening, plot twist, we pre-record. Earlier this evening, the 2025 NBA All-Star Game rosters were released. I don't. Do they still do the like picking teams thing? Is that a thing this year or no? Did they get rid of that?
No, because I think this is the first year for the, or is that next year then? I guess because they were supposed to do the, or no, it is this year. Yeah, they're doing the 4 team playoff thing this year, and it's the 2 teams, and then the Rising Stars team, and then I think like the WNBA team or something.
Oh, okay.
I forget how it is. Yeah, I'm honestly I'm drawing a blank on what it even is, which is poor reporting on our side. But I'll be excited for All Star break next week. I'll be locked and loaded for it. But yeah, today's news was more or less who made it, who didn't,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean there was, as always, there's a couple of like the, oh, you call them snubs, and then there's the ones that like were no brainers.
Right.
Yeah, it's like Lamelo Ball is like the number one that everyone's like pissed off about because he's had like an incredible year, but like just being on such a bad team hurts them so bad, and so
Yeah.
like it gets into consideration. So, but yeah, I mean, other than that, like it's I'm excited. Like I love All Star Weekend. Like it's one where like once like the more behind the scenes you learn about NBA players and like them chilling and hanging out. Like Gilbert Arenas was just talking today about like 2006 playoffs and not even say this clip is old, but I saw it today. Of him and LeBron and like they were gambling before one of the nights. Like they were having a playoff game and he was like, yeah, I was at LeBron's house and we were gambling on shit. And they were like, wait, you were at LeBron's like the night before playing against him in the playoffs? And they're like, yeah, what are you gonna do? Discuss game plans? Like we were there gambling. Like it's separate. Like
Yeah.
you're a human outside of basketball. Like, he
Right.
just texted me, he's like, you want to come over? And like I'm having people over, and so right away, I was like, that's so fucking crazy. Like, imagine being Bronny just like walking downstairs and Dad, I need help with math homework. He's sitting around like Gilbert Arenas and fucking other like random superstars playing
Yeah.
cards on like a Tuesday night before the fucking finals, like
Yeah.
with like conference championships and shit. So yeah, it's just weird to think about that kind of stuff. But basically, with that being said, like the more you learn and see like behind the scenes and stuff, like All Star break really is like these dudes' vacation. Like they are all just chilling. The single guys are living their best life. You can
Right.
always tell. Like their Instagrams are
Do
they're out
you
until 2, 3, 4 in the morning. And
know where the All Star game is this year?
I do not.
I mean,
San Francisco. San Francisco, February 16th at Chase Center in San Francisco. So Golden State's arena.
gotcha.
So
I guess that's a
um,
decent-ish city.
yeah,
That's the best way I could put that.
yeah. Honestly, yeah,
Um,
yeah. What a wild place to put it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, doing it in San Francisco's. It's. I mean, the Warriors have made it a basketball town, to be honest. So it's like it. You could assume that it's going
over
to
the
be appreciated.
49ers, you think?
I mean, I don't know. You talk about the last 10 years of success. Like that's the Warriors have become potentially one of the greatest dynasties in basketball ever.
We need
Like they,
we need
like
listeners from San Francisco.
yeah, I have a few 49er friends that'll be upset to hear that, but I feel like yeah, I feel like the Warriors are
Yeah,
probably
I definitely get it. And I think did the 49ers threaten to leave?
yes, they have a
Yeah.
few times. Well, the Warriors did too. They left technically
Oh
the
yeah.
Bay and they
Right,
went to
yeah.
that new area or whatever. So they just built a new stadium because the other one was like falling apart or whatever. And
Yeah.
then they were like, "This is bullshit," and they were like, "What the fuck do you want us to do?" So
Yeah.
yeah, but like yeah, they're like Lamelo not making it, Kyrie not making it, Tyrese Maxey is holding the Sixers together and he didn't make it. The Kings putting De'Aaron Fox, getting up for trade rumors, and then also like it Domantas Sabonis. I always fuck his first name off. Like him getting cut out too. Like that kind of sucks. But the Kings have taken like a hard fall off from last year, so. But yeah, I
Fair
mean, I'm
enough.
always excited to see it. It's always fun seeing like LeBron, KD. I was gonna tag you in that the other day and I forgot to. All right, maybe I did send it to you. Of Shea Gilgis. Did I send you that clip? No, I didn't. I
No.
meant to, and I think I got distracted. And I just realized just now that I didn't send it. Um, Shea Gilgis Alexander, the one I talk about all the time, he's Canadian or
Yeah.
Australian, maybe one of the two. He Canadian. He plays for the Thunder. He's like one of the best point guards in the league. I think he's anticipated to be the one to sign like the first $400 million contract. Like whenever like the extensions come up or whatever. He had this thing in mid game. He's like discussing. He's like, "Oh yeah, you got him. You got him. Let's go do this." Random kid on the sideline just screams, "Shea, can I have your jersey after the game?" And he turns around. And he's like, "What? What?" And the kid's like, "Can I have your jersey after the game?" And he just goes, "Anything for you, anything for you," and just turns around, just like snaps back into playing, and just like goes and plays defense after the game comes over and like signs the kid's shit and like gives him shoes or whatever. And so everyone was like, "Dude, he's just like such a good guy," and everyone was like, "This is like who he is all the time." I was gonna send it to you to just be like, "Hey, here's your new guy. Like this is your guy. This is your wave of the future. Like
Yeah.
you go be a Shea fan. Like it's a solid place to be." So, and
That's
like yeah,
fun.
he's got a fun style of play too. Like he's got kind of like that like I don't call it like an Allen Iverson dribble, but like that real free, like the ball's on a string. Like he is
Yeah.
just out there doing his thing, and like he looks so clean and fun with it. So yeah, it's fun.
That
But
would
yeah,
be
other than
somebody
that,
I would support then, based on what
right?
you
Yeah, yeah. It's
yeah.
someone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's someone that I saw that clip and I was like, this is someone AJ would appreciate. I was like, I should send this to him. That's why immediately I was like, I never sent that to him. So yeah, when it comes up, I'll definitely send it to you. But
Fair enough.
yeah, I'll be locked in for All Star Weekend as always. Since yeah, I love. That's it. And I have to double check now because I feel like is this the first year that
I
they're doing the
used to
change?
like really get into it, not the game because I could care less about them just putting up scores of 210 to 225 or whatever it is. But I used to get really into like the skills competitions and stuff. I just thought
Yeah,
that was
those are
always
always
the
fun.
coolest thing. I don't think they really do. They don't do that like full court skills competition anymore, do they?
Yeah, they do the skills challenge thing where they like throw the ball through the hoop and shit. And they
Oh
like
yeah,
dribble
yeah,
around and go up and down the court. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
pretty sure that's still part of it. They do the Rising Stars versus the Internationals or whatever it is. So it's like
yeah.
young players. They do the Internationals versus the Americans or whatever. And then there's still like the East versus West. And I think I'm almost certain that this year was the first of like the split things where they did it. Um, but one of the other things too, you talked about the score. They made this new rule a couple years ago, probably like 7 or 8 years ago now at this point, they had made a change to the scoring where it was you after the third quarter, whatever the difference was or something got added to the total score, and then there's a target score.
Yeah.
So it was them fucking around for 3 quarters, and then a bunch of competitive ass people that were like, "Well, I'm not about to just let them score 12 more points and end this
Yeah.
game." The final like 10 minutes became like lockdown defense, like people trying to like running plays and shit, because it's like that you see the time ending versus it being
Right.
180 to 120 with 12 minutes to go. Like no one's trying to grind for 60 points. Like they make a switch where it's like, all right, first team to score the next 24 points or whatever. And then so it's like, no matter what the score is, but the
Yeah.
scores play a part of the math of what the number is you have
Sure.
to play to or whatever. But
I've heard that
yeah,
argument before of how to end basketball games more quickly because they are the longest
yeah,
two to
because
three
you're
minutes in
fighting. Yeah, yeah, if
sports.
you're fighting for your own sport or for your own score instead of the
Yeah.
total score, it's a
And
little bit
then with the
different. But
stoppage of fouls and timeouts and all that stuff,
yeah.
it does get drug out quite often.
No, yeah, 100%. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, and this is the first time. So the NBA All-Star Game will feature a mini tournament with 4 teams in 3 games. 2 teams will meet in one semifinal, game one, and 2 teams will meet in the other semifinal, game two. The winning teams from game one and game two will advance to face each other in a championship. For each game, the winner will be the first team to reach or surpass 40 points. And then each teams will have players named to be from an NBA analyst. That's right. Yeah. So it's Chuck, Shaq, Kenny, Team Shaq, Team Chuck, Team Kenny, and then Candace Parker picked a team.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so she served honorary of the Rising Stars champion, so known as Team Candace. So yeah, so it's the Rising Stars champion. When whoever wins that from Saturday, Friday and Saturday, will move on to then be part of that 4 team playoff going forward. So
So I did get this update the other day. Adam Silver talked about 10-minute quarters.
yeah, I hate it. I hate it. I don't like that. As a kid, the first time I learned about basketball, I was like 12 minutes. That's fucking dumb. Pick 10 or 15. Like that's stupid. I still think they should do 15. Like I just feel like they should make it longer. Like just put it in as an hour. Like use your bench more. I don't know. Like just make it
Yeah.
an hour. It's so weird to do 12, but like 10, I guess also does like make sense. It rounds it off a little nicer. But why would like cutting the game doesn't make sense? I feel like cutting games makes sense. Like leave it as 12 minutes, but don't play fucking 82 games. Like yeah, I feel like I would rather see less games, but a good because 12 minutes is like, I mean, I don't know though. So now I'm like talking myself out of it because then it's like the first quarter is usually them just kind of warming up and dicking around anyway. So
Yeah.
having a 48-minute game is kind of like having a preseason the first quarter and then they start getting it going. But I don't know though. When you have like rival nights and you get like good ass games and people with beef and stuff, like you're locked in from the tip. Like it's just like, oh, tonight's gonna be a night.
Right. But then the flip side of that is how many games are there where your starters are sitting
Yeah.
or resting and stuff
Or
like
yeah,
that. I
team's
think,
up 20 after the first quarter, and you got
right.
36 minutes left of nothing,
Yeah.
like nothingness to watch.
Yeah.
So
You got to get behind you again.
yeah. Okay, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know. I see both sides of it, but it's just one of those things where I'm like, I guess over the course of a season that lowers the total minutes playing, and you're hoping that the guys play more and more games then,
More games, yeah.
right?
But then,
But
yeah, I
then
feel
why
like
don't you
it's
just lower the number of games?
right. That's because I feel like if you're cutting minutes, then those guys are gonna end up weirdly playing more minutes now because it's like, oh, it's only 10 minutes. Like you don't have to play
Right.
12. You can just do 10 minutes, take a timeout, and play 10 more minutes. Like
Yeah.
it's a different. Like you're losing 8 minutes a game, which is roughly like what starters sit anyway. So. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of it. I was surprised to hear that from Adam Silver. I feel like he usually is one to be like expanding the game and doing whatever else. And not that I think he's like a Goodell where he's like, fuck it, we're adding 10 more games for the money. But it was weird to hear that he wants to cut it to 10 minutes. So, yeah,
Well, I do-
odd decision. But
I don't think he said he wanted to. I think they were thinking about it. And
I
honestly,
think
the way
thought-
I
honestly,
read
think-
into that is that like, hey, I'm gonna float this idea and see how everyone reacts, and then I'll make a decision.
Yeah,
Which honestly is
it-
pretty smart.
Yeah,
But-
literally, I typed in Adam Silver 10 minute and it literally said Silver floats idea 10-minute NBA quarters. Like that
Yeah.
was number one. Yeah, yeah. So he's just kind of throwing it out there.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
and
he
some
said
of the coaches are fired up about it.
I am a fan of four 10-minute quarters.
I don't know how much you know about the Celtics coach, but he might be one of my favorite people ever. He's one of those ones where they were like, "How much pressure do you feel like?" How much at the beginning of the season they asked him, "How much pressure do you feel going into this game, or into the season being the champion and like trying to hold your title?" And he said, "It's just basketball. We don't have pressure. We're all gonna die. Who gives a shit? Like everyone's dead in 100 years." He's like, "No one's gonna remember this. It's not pressure. We're just playing basketball." He's that guy. Joe Mazzulla delivered a very blunt response when, with little emotion on his face, when asked about the possibility of the NBA shortening 12 quarters from 12 minutes to 10. I don't care. Mazzulla said, whatever you got to do, just play the game. Mazzulla may not care about the concept, but league commissioner Adam Silver is in favor of it and said he's considering it during a recent appearance. Again, Mazzulla is so
Crazy.
like, the one time they asked him, they said, in a press conference, I'll have to send you this clip too, but they asked Mazzulla, they go, what do you know about, they say, how is Jalen Brown's hip coming along? Is he planning on playing tonight? And he goes, is he not playing tonight? And they go, no, he was listed as out. And Missoula looks over, he goes, Jalen's not playing tonight? And they go, no. And he goes, oh, Jalen's not playing tonight. And they're like, you haven't talked to him? And he was like, no, we talked. And he goes, oh, well, what did you guys talk about? And he goes, I don't know. I mumble and he mumbles and we shook hands and walk separate ways. And they're like, okay, so you didn't talk about his hip? And he was like, I don't know. He might have said something about his hip, but apparently he's not playing tonight. So what's your question? Like, he is so like Bill Belichick-esque, and I love it. Like, he's so just like, what the fuck do you want? Like, then stop asking me these silly dumb questions, kind of like Marshawn-ish, very honestly, where like they're asking him dumb questions and he's like, this is so stupid, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
But
Very
yeah, so
interesting.
yeah, big fan of Missoula. But yeah, I'm excited for the All-Star break though too. Let's see, I'm excited that it's a new 14 playoff. Like, I think that's definitely worth like sitting and getting absolutely locked into. Like, I think that that's going to be super fun. And is it back to back or are they 2 different days?
Is
That's what I
what?
need to know.
Back to
NBA
back.
All-Star
Yeah.
game dates. Like game 1, game 2, game 3, like they were talking about, because they're not going to do all that in one game, one day, are they? Wait, right here. Okay, so events. All-Star Saturday night. Sunday. Yeah, Saturday night is at 8 p.m. and it is the skills challenge. Kia skills challenge, 3-point contest, slam dunk contest. So yeah, that's the 3 things they do there. And then Ruffles All-Star Celebrity Game. Doesn't have events. Okay, yeah, so damn, yeah, it is 8:20 p.m., 9:10 p.m., and then 10 p.m. They're literally doing them back to back. He starts at 8:20. They do the first game. Second game is at 9:10. Third game's at 10 o'clock. Championships is then. So they're doing a 14 playoff in one night. That's sick. So yeah, that's gonna be so fun.
One
It's
way
like,
to
yeah, who?
describe that.
I mean, yeah, I just think it'll be fun because it's like team. Like game 2 is not gonna get a rest. Game 1's gonna be rested a little bit. Like, it's all gonna be them just chilling there, and it'll be cool that like they'll be watching the other games like as they're happening. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Like, they're trying something new. They're trying to make the All Star game worthy. I can't remember the last time I gave a fuck about the Pro Bowl. So like, kudos to the NBA for this one.
Yeah. That's
But
fair.
yeah,
The only kind of fun news I have out of the NHL is the Utah Hockey Club.
that's so dumb. I hate that they couldn't be called the Yetis.
Yeah. Um,
Silly.
right. But they did fan vote, and they are now they will be the Utah Outlaws.
Oh, did they? I saw that they were doing a 3-team. What were the other 2 names? Do you know? Do you have them
Yeah.
handy?
I don't off the top of my head.
I just was curious when I saw that. And I didn't look into it.
The Utah
The
Hockey Club, the Utah Mammoth, and the Utah Wasatak.
Wasatak. So Mammoth Wasatak Hockey Club.
Wasatch. I'm probably
Wasatch.
butchering that. But they
Like
replaced
Wasatch
it
or some
with
shit.
the Outlaws. So
I like that, honestly. But yeah, I think they should have just been allowed to call it be the Yetis. That's so stupid that they weren't allowed
yeah,
to.
I guess
Especially because they were told that they couldn't use it for like their fucking like mascot or anything. They were like
yeah.
absolutely nothing, and it was like they could have just been called the Outlaws and then had a Yeti named Outlaw or something. Like, it's dumb that they just were like 0. Like, that's so stupid. Who cares? Like, that's again one of those ones where I'm like, why is the government involved with fucking sports? Like, who
No,
cares?
honestly, it wasn't so much the government as much as it was the Yeti coolers said no to a deal. So that's what it
See
came from, is the
that?
trademark and patent that Yeti has on it. So that is technically the government, but they did reach out and try to get a coexistence agreement, and Yeti was like, no. Yeti the coolers was like, no.
See, I saw it just yeah, the headline was misleading where it literally just said like Yeti ruled no by U.S. Department of whatever. Like, they made it seem like they were the ones that shot it down because it was the Yeti word, and I was like, that's fucking dumb.
Well, they did. So the patent and trademark office was
Likelihood
like, no,
of confusion.
that's too
Likelihood
close.
yeah.
And so then Utah Hockey Club reached out to Yeti Coolers and was like, hey, can we get like a coexistent agreement? And they're like, no.
They didn't want any part of that. See, that's dumb too. They
Yeah,
were just like, "Yeah, we'll be your sponsor. Fucking why not?" But also, here's my other problem with that though: is that Yeti coolers. Like, why do they have the name Yeti? Like, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like Yeti should just be a noun. Like, I feel like that should just be an open-ended noun. Like, how do you
public
steal the word
domain.
Yeti? Yeah, like how do you steal the
Yeah,
word Yeti? Like, yeah, that is where I
fair.
think I assumed that. Yeah, all I saw was like Utah Hockey Club gets name rejected by USPTO or whatever, and I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
that's stupid." I assumed that it was some dumb fucking can't do it because of this reason, but that's even dumber that they were like, no, likelihood of confusion, suck my dick. Because that's what those ones were like, what if my last name's Yeti? If I have last name YETI and I can't start a business because likelihood of confusion, like, suck my ass. Like, I don't
yeah,
give a fuck. Like, but yeah, I mean, I guess, they got the patent, so kudos to them. It's theirs.
yeah. Exactly.
That's silly, though. But
Fortunately,
yeah,
that's how it
Utah
goes.
Outlaws does sound sick, though, so, like, that's pretty cool.
It does, but also like a hockey team in Utah just sounds weird in general.
It does. That is facts.
Um, moving right along, I don't really have much for any other sports other
No,
than
we're in a bit of a
NASCAR.
lull
NASCAR is
Saturday
back this
or
weekend.
Sunday.
I did look it up. If I'm being completely honest, I'm a little confused because they mess with this and tweak it every year. But essentially, the main clash, which is like a preseason NASCAR race, that is on Sunday at 8 p.m. At Bowman Gray Stadium. We mentioned that. But Saturday evening, they do have track activities. They have they have practice and qualifying, so they'll come out, they'll practice, and then they qualify. And then there's four heat races. So there's one at 8:30, 8:45. They're 25 lap races, 9 and 9:15. Um, I'm not exactly sure what that's going to be. I guess that's the qualifying for the guys who are already in it. And then at 6 p.m. on Sunday, they'll have a last chance qualifier where they'll do like a 75 lap race, and for the guys who finish one and two will start in the back of the main event. So they kind of are giving like a homage to the dirt racing that you see on a Friday or Saturday night at your local track.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, cool. I mean, yeah,
So pretty cool.
they're taking advantage of a no football weekend, so they got me to watch. I'll fuck around, watch Saturday and Sunday probably because fights are
Yeah.
on Saturday morning. So
Um, Also, I'm really sad that I forgot to mention this last week, but we did miss the Rolex 24-hour race at Daytona um, last weekend.
yeah,
So
did not know
it's
that.
yeah, it's
I mean, it's title. That's championship weekend. I didn't give a fuck about anything else. You're finding out who's going to the Super Bowl. That's all that matters that weekend.
that's fair. But it is just a cool event to watch and kind of keep your eye on. Just like I don't know, just all 24 hours at Daytona is just wild. But
Yeah.
it is still pretty cool. If I'm being honest, I don't even know much about the winners of it. Besides, I think one of them got a penalty. Um, so, but
Oh, we should mention Saturday night at 6:30 UNC Duke. Forgot about that.
okay,
That is Saturday night, so
UNC
that's a
Duke,
big deal
yeah,
too. And yeah, we've
similar
had
to
a
the
very
Michigan
up.
Ohio State game. Nothing else
Yeah,
matters for UNC.
yeah, that's our
Um,
Super Bowl. So yeah,
yeah,
everyone else like who gives a shit? It's a regular season game. No, 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 no. If we win this, our whole season's worthwhile. We don't
right,
care
yeah,
if we as long as we split the season or do better.
yeah. So that's exciting. But yeah, so we have a clash this weekend and some of the events to go with it. And the only note I have is I saw this that the Hershey Bears lost 0-9
Yeah,
to the Wilkes-Barre Scranton
dude.
Penguins.
Wait, I gotta find it. Hold on.
I was like,
Hershey
yikes!
Bears.
Like,
It was like one of those ones where their Facebook post, it just was like, that's the final. That'll do it, is what they said. Their Facebook post was 9-0. It just says, that'll do it.
yeah,
That's all it says. So, yeah, that was a tough night. Like, yeah, 9-0 is a rough day at the office. But
yeah, for sure.
the number one comment on that Facebook post is, you win some, you lose some, and then there's this shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
9-0 is a rough day. Yeah, that's
yeah,
funny as hell. So yeah, no, that's tough. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely try to get out here to some games this year once I finally start this new job and shit. That's yeah, I'm normally kidding. So weird. Kaylee's worked until 7 p.m. or 11 p.m. like our entire relationship. Like never have I had her every night for dinner in a week ever. Like it just does not happen. She now just switched to a new schedule where she's 7 to 3, 3 days a week, and then 3 a.m. to 3 p.m. So she's home for dinner every day. Like it's just the weirdest
Oh,
shit where every day I'm like, what do I want to eat tonight? I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta figure out something for her too. Like it's so odd because when like I get home earlier than her, and I'm like, all right, she's at work, like I'm on my own, and then right away I'm like, no, she'll be home at 4:30. Like I don't gotta get the kids. Like it's weird. So but yeah, so we both have like cool like Monday through Friday like 9 to 5 ish kind of shit
nice.
now. So like yeah, so we can get to like games and shit together and not have to go every other weekend kind of thing. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm hoping to get some Bears games here this year.
That's pretty sweet.
But yeah,
Uh, I'll
fun
let you
fact me
pick
up.
1 to 14.
Ooh, um, let's go 9. Super Bowl's on the ninth.
9. People in Seattle live further north than roughly 70% of Canadians.
All right, that's a Google Maps one real quick. Is that because it's like desolate as fuck through most of Canada and most of the? Oh no, my God, Jesus Christ! Toronto,
Um,
Montreal, that's all very south. Holy
yeah.
shit! You really don't think that? You really think the top of the United States is just flat as fuck and then it goes up, but it doesn't. It dips
No,
way
yeah.
down and then goes up. Like yeah, the top of Minnesota being more northern than Maine, I would not have known in my head. Like if you just asked me to draw the
Yeah.
country, I would have done the Florida
We
loop.
know
I
how
would have
bad
done
your
the.
geography is.
But listen, if you'd have told me to draw the entire country, though, I would have came down the East Coast. I would have drawn Florida. I would have drawn Texas. I'd have went up and around California, and then I would have just went like straight across, and then went up for Maine and shit, and back down for East Coast. Like I thought
Yeah.
it went over and up, and it really
Right.
doesn't. Like it's almost like a
It's
parallel
over,
line,
comes
and it
down,
dips
and doesn't
down.
go back up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Goes down at
like
the
the
Great
top of
Lakes.
Minnesota is significantly further up than Maine, which is crazy.
Yeah, there's like
And there's probably nobody up in Manitoba and Alberta and Saskatchewan. Like there's got to be
there's a few
nobody up
cities
there.
like Vancouver's just to the north of Seattle, and then Edmonton, Calgary, and Winnipeg are like their only major cities that are north
Either up
of
there.
of
So
those.
like,
Yeah.
see, I didn't even realize that. To me, in my head, it just was like, oh, Canada's like America. People are spread out all over the place, but no, it's like literally all random, empty,
Oh
desolate
yeah,
forest and
it's
shit.
yeah, forest and tundra basically.
Okay, where does Tom Green live? White
All the
Lake.
Canadian, you know.
Yeah, he did that. We talked about this before. He did the episode of Rogan, and he bought a mule, and they have like this like mythical sense of knowing which way you're gonna turn. We talked about this where like they have fibers in their body
Oh
where like
yeah.
your leg muscle moves like because your brain's telling your body that you're about to make a right turn. Like your
Hmm.
right leg is like sending off vibrations, and the mule's like about to make a right, like already. Like it's
Yeah.
insane. So now I'm curious as to where. Okay, so he's right up White Lake between Toronto and Ottawa. It's right above Lake Ontario, like right above like Rochester, basically
Yeah.
up into the
So
Canadian part. So
he
he's even
lives
in the
farther
main
south.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's it, but he bought like 100 and some acres. So like even the most
Sure.
populated area, like you can just go get 100 fucking acres. That's crazy. I did not realize Canada was so empty. Is Canada the whole way? Dude, Alaska is so far up there too.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Well, technically, Alaska comes pretty far down the coast, but yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, I see. Because British Columbia is okay. So yeah, Juneau and Sitka is all technically Alaska.
Yeah.
But I mean, even then, goddamn, dude. Yeah, this is not sports related at all. But holy fuck, this is wild. I never have like sat and looked at Canada at all. And like, are they called states? Are they territories or what is it? Like British Columbia,
Yeah, they're
Alberta,
territories.
Saskatchewan,
Yeah.
Manitoba.
Yeah, they're all
Oh,
territories.
Saskatchewan's a territory. Like, there's not even a major city in Saskatchewan until you like zoom way the fuck in.
Yep, pretty much.
Dude, that's actually crazy. Okay, so Winnipeg, okay, that's why those ones are like the actual ones that are listed here. Toronto. So Toronto is like everyone in the whole fucking Canada world is in Toronto or Calgary.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
to be fair,
crazy.
that's where your major port city is. So,
I mean, yeah, but still 70% is wild. Like that stat's telling you that 70% of Canada lives in that little ass area, and then 30% of it lives all over the rest of it, which is
right.
fucking nuts. Like that's spread the fuck out. Like there's nobody in northern Quebec, northern Ontario, northern Manitoba. Like there's
Yeah,
you
for
got to
the
have
most part.
200 acres of yourself with for no money at all.
Yeah.
You just are freezing to death 3 quarters of
To
the
be
year
honest with you,
probably.
people probably don't even own it. It's probably owned by the government. And
Oh yeah, they're just there
yeah,
vibing.
like you could probably go up and stake your claim and it'd be okay. They'd be
Like,
like,
sure,
okay, you
I've
can have
had
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you find
Pay
any
me,
dead
pay me
bodies in the
$1
ice,
every year for
yeah.
taxes.
You find a dead body in the ice, don't call us. Get rid of it yourself. Bury it or something.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, I'm going to be thinking about the Roman Empire and Canada going forward because this is fucking nuts. What about all this shit up top? Whose is that?
It's all Canada.
Between Baffin Bay and Beaufort Sea, that's all Canada, or where
I
does it
don't
turn
know
into
where those two
Greenland?
cities are off the top of my head,
I,
but yeah,
I
it's
zoomed
all.
in way at the top, like all those islands and
Oh,
shit. Didn't even know Canada had islands. You told me to draw Canada, I would have drawn like a big ass
oh
extension
yeah,
to
it's
the
mostly
America.
islands when you get up there.
I would have drawn a big ass just extension to America. Honestly, roughly the same size as America. Didn't know it was that fucking big.
Yeah.
And like it would have been America with the flat top, and then I'd have just drawn like a head for Canada, and then I'd have drawn a circle for Greenland, and then I'd have called it a
Well,
day.
don't wrap it around a globe then, because you'll realize how close like those actually are. Because like you're looking at Google Maps, so it's all laid out flat. If you actually wrap it around a globe, that all becomes much closer.
What do you mean? Closer how?
Because the top of the circle, the top of the globe's only this big. You know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
yeah, I see what you're saying. I was asking like which parts are you talking about closer together, like the islands themselves, or Russia and Canada, or
What? Yeah, all of the above.
yeah,
Because yeah, like
interesting.
you're getting to the point where like somewhere up there's the North Pole where like you know it's only a mile around.
Right,
So,
interesting.
but yeah, Canada
Yeah, this is
extends the whole way
great.
up there. And for
Yeah.
now, until Daddy Trump buys us Greenland, um, Greenland's on its own.
Interesting.
So
Gulf of America and Greenland.
it,
America's Greenland.
it's a joke. I saw. I forget what the oh for the United, the Gulf of Cum for Cuba, United States, and Mexico. The Gulf of Cum.
Gulf,
Give me a
come
good
Gulf,
laugh. So,
come Gulf, Cuba, United States. That's funny.
anyways, now that we're now mature rated for the episode, um,
I used cunt earlier. It's fine.
yeah, it's fine. Anyways, we appreciate you all. We hope you have a good
Yeah.
weekend of spring cleaning. As Dane's
Yes.
doing, I will be
Yes.
ice fishing because it's getting warm and the ice will be melting quickly.
Yeah. Not
Um,
much left.
so I'll be ice fishing and hanging out.
No beans. Well, hey, like and subscribe, everyone. We appreciate you. We
Appreciate
have
y'all.
seen, yeah, it's weird, but like the engagement is consistently going up. So like it's just like the percentages are in our favor. So we appreciate everybody that's watching, even if you're not liking. It does help us if you do, though. So if you're out there creeping and you see this and you're listening, we appreciate you for listening this far. Throw us a like. We appreciate you.
Yes, as always, appreciate y'all. Hope you have a great
Yep.
weekend.
You
We
too.
will be back Sunday night / Monday morning.
Arnett.
Have a good day.
Bye. Like and subscribe.